back to the lounge. Glad to be here with you guys. I hope everybody is doing all right today. I do have another video, just so you guys know before we get started here. I've got another video that I did the other night. It was a live stream, but it made it private. I need to go in and adjust my settings, because I remember when decided I was going to take a break for a while, I changed the settings a little bit. So I need to fix that way you guys can see all the live streams when I go live, mobile. Anyway, we are here right now, and I've got my guest with me, Mr. Brandon. Brandon, how are you?
I am doing good today. It's nice and cool out.
And it's only going to get colder, at least where I'm at anyways. Brandon here, he's like me. We keep up with a lot of different court cases, and because there's always interesting things that happen when you watch these trials and cases and whatnot. But I wanted to come on because I just wanted to speak kind of how I feel about the outcome of the trial that Nichlous Cruise they just got done with. That shooting took place in 2018. It happened in Florida. I'm trying to remember the name of the school. I guess I could look it up.
Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Yeah, there we go. And that the building that Nichlous actually went in, I didn't realize this, but they had it closed off since 2018. They did let the jury go in there and look around, which I think that was, I don't think I'd have ever done that. I understand that the judge wanted to do it, to help the jury, really get a good feel of what happened, I don't know. So let's talk about the outcome. Let's talk about the verdict. I'm just going to tell everybody right now, I don't agree that he should have just got life in prison. I don't agree with that. My heart breaks for every family out there that has lost their child. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking. I was reading a report, and one father said, just because I smile, I'm not happy. Or I'll never be happy. How do you quote that? When I smile, I'm not happy. I'm a father. And there's a lot of you out there that are fathers and mothers. I can't imagine it. But even though I can't imagine it, my heart still breaks for every one of them innocent people. It's sad. It really is sad. I don't agree with life in prison at all. I think he should have got death row. Let's talk and see what Brandon thinks about all this. Brandon, you want to share your thoughts?
I agree with you and all the parents. He should have gotten death row. And my honest opinion is, now that we have found out a little bit more that's come out after this verdict, I think they should reconsider and redo the sentencing, because a jury member got threatened.
2.
Or so they're saying.
2.
2 of them. Okay, 2. 2 got threatened to say no. And honestly, this ridiculous law they have in Florida that says if the verdict is life in prison, the judge can't upgrade it to the death penalty is just, honestly, it's asinine in my opinion. It's stupid. It shouldn't be allowed to happen that way.
Well, I think that anytime when there's a threat, and I think if that threat made someone say something they didn't want to say, I believe that should be enough to go back and say, no, this isn't acceptable.
Because I think they were threatened to rule against the death penalty. I
Yeah,
truly
they
do.
feared for their life. They feared for their life. The ones that were threatened tried to get the judge's attention. Had even requested to speak with the judge, and the judge said, no, we're not allowed to do that. But the judge didn't know that anybody had been threatened. She was just thinking that, maybe it was to talk about the case or something like that. And and she's right. You can't go into the judge's chambers and speak with him about anything that, like, the outcome of it. You're not allowed to do that. It's just policy. It's for safety. And I understand that. But once they did find out, that should have changed everything.
Yeah, because I think even one of the jury members wrote a note trying to get her attention, from what I understand.
Oh yeah. That's what they had to do. They had to write it down, and then the ballot would take it to the judge. That's the only way they could get it to the judge. The judge said, give them that piece of paper and let them write it down. There's an actual title for that, and I forget what it's called, but a quick note or something. I don't know. But anyway, I just want people to know where I stand on my opinion. I don't mind to share my opinion that I think Nichlous Cruise should have got the death penalty.
I think he got off too easy.
I understand that there'd been a whole lot of stuff about him having other conditions, but this was all set up. It's not like walking in somewhere and you just flipping out. He had this stuff already planned. It was all planned out. So my heart truly goes to these families, because I know that doesn't make it any better for you. I know it doesn't.
So I'll ask you, since you work in the court system, if you were in that sort of a situation with a trial and a jury member got threatened, how would you handle that differently versus what happened in this case?
Well, you can't singly handle it. You got to go by policies.
Right.
And that's really what the judge is doing. It's not even the judge's fault. These are laws that were there before she sat down as a judge. They were laws that were set before even the prosecutors were set down as prosecutors. They're having to follow this because that's what the law says.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, and if I was allowed to do it, the jury would go back and they would write down their verdict one more time after the threat's been handled.
Yeah.
What does it hurt? What does it hurt to have the jury go back in that room and write their verdict down? Why is it so bad?
I think they should have done that.
Well, I just want, not that no family member would ever watch this video, but if they did, I want them to know that we're in their corner. And we think that he should have got the death penalty. Nichlous Cruise does not deserve life in prison. That's too easy. That's too easy for him. It's too easy.
And I watched the reaction afterwards, and one of the mothers even said, and I was kind of shocked to hear it, but I wasn't. She literally said, the day he dies, I will be so happy when I get that phone call saying he was murdered or died in prison.
They're going to have to keep him on. He'll never be in general population in prison. He'll never make it there.
No.
Usually murderers don't go to general population. They don't get them abilities. I think honestly there's some things even in prison that I think is too easy for people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that now prisoners can even have somewhat connection to the internet, like studying, school. I mean, I don't disagree that I don't think that them being able to go back to school, I don't think that's so bad, but there's some things that prisoners get that I don't understand why, because they're not there to be rewarded. Of course, that state food, I guess that's bad enough. When you eat a hamburger from jail or prison, it's not really hamburger, it's soy burger. Soy burgers. I've actually had those before. They're really not that bad if you dress them up right.
If you cook them right.
You just got to dress them up right, But
yeah,
to anybody that wants to know my opinion, that's what it is. I think Nichlous Cruise should have got the death penalty. I would like to know. Brandon would like to know. We would like to know. What do you think? Let's bring up the chat. Let's do that, Brandon. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm going to open up the chat, folks. You can talk.
I was actually going to say, for prisoners who have committed horrific crimes like murder and say things like that, and you're on death row, I don't think you should get anything. Like, you shouldn't get some of the privileges most prisoners get.
Right. No, you're right, buddy.
I don't think prison is a deterrent, unfortunately. I think prison should be a deterrent to where you don't want to commit a crime and go back again, and I don't think it is, even though we're always taught growing up, oh, you don't want to go to prison, blah, 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 blah. It's the exact opposite.
Right. JNTC, we don't use the death penalty enough in this country. I agree with you 100%. 100%.
We use it quite a bit here in the state of Texas.
No, not enough, dude. If you look at it,
but I see where they're coming from.
I mean, Texas uses the death penalty, but not. It's not like they use it all the time.
No.
I mean, I've seen several. I've seen cases go through Texas where there should have been a death penalty, and they even got away. Oh, we'll give you life in prison. Listen, this is my opinion, and what do you think, JNT, or I'll say JT? This is my opinion. I think anybody that murders another person, if it's cold blood murder, and we're talking the way that Nichlous murdered all these innocent students, anybody that doesn't murder
automatic
like that,
death row.
I don't think they deserve. It's too easy for them to continue to breathe the same oxygen that we breathe, because to me, they don't deserve that. Any mass shooters should be death sentence minimum.
Yeah.
As well as rape. I
agree.
I agree 100%. 100%. And, let me just say this. I understand that Nichlous has family that don't want to see that happen. I understand where you're standing at. I get that. It's a family member, and you don't want to see anybody in your family, die or any of that nature. But you've got to weigh the odds here, and you've got to weigh that. You got to balance this out, and you got to come.
Yeah.
You got to come to your own morals about this and say, what would be fair? It's obvious that love is going to tell you, no, don't do that. I don't want to see that happen.
Rapist, murders, child molesters all
rapists, murderers, and child molesters.
Yeah.
You can't rehabilitate those people. You're right. You are right.
You're right about that.
And there shouldn't be no rehabilitating for those people. They don't deserve it. It's like, okay, you messed up, you raped someone, but we're going to give you another chance. Or, okay, well, you molested a child, we're going to give you another chance. So whatever did it to my kids, I'd kill them. I'd kill them.
I'll give you a prime example.
I'd go to prison. Then I'd be on death row.
I'll give you a prime example of somebody who, got out of the prison system, committed murder again, and then they were finally executed. His name was Kenneth McDuff. I remember this very, very well because he was actually in the Austin area at the time I was living there in the 90s, and he committed murder, and he got out of prison for committing murder in the 60s because of the fact that the jail system was overcrowded in Texas. So they let him out. And people said, don't let him out. He's a danger to society. And sure enough, he got out, killed again.
Yeah. JNT.
Yeah.
I keep saying that wrong. I'm just going to say J, if that's okay with you. This guy's going to live just because of one juror. And you're right. You're right.
You're absolutely right.
Because of that one juror. And that juror was threatened. But they won't look at that and take that in consideration when it comes to... I mean, what is the real harm, you guys, of putting the jurors back in the room and making them write it down again? I don't understand it. It's sickening.
And I don't understand this law. I don't understand this Florida law that says...
That law has been there
That's
for a very
ridiculous
long time.
law.
I know it is.
That law is ridiculous.
I agree. I just don't... I don't agree with it. And my heart goes out to every family member out there that went through that horrible, horrible nightmare. I just wanted to come on and talk about it and see what other people thought. Share my thoughts. Nichlous Cruise, I think that, well, you're trash. You're trash. You don't deserve to breathe the same oxygen that we breathe. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve to even eat the food that our tax dollars pays for. You don't deserve that.
I gotta wonder if maybe, even though he's not in general population, I wonder if maybe...
Oh, they can find ways, dude.
They will find a way to get him anyway. I mean, maybe a guard, somebody fixing his food.
In prison, they can even... They can crust a glass up so fine, put it in your food, and you'd never know it. You'd bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'd bleed internally, but it's awful. Jay, I appreciate your thoughts on this. It blows my mind. It does. It absolutely blows my mind that after all this investigating that they did, 2018 when it happened, and then here we are in 2022, the verdict finally comes out, and this guy gets to walk.
Well, even one family said, one of the parents, they literally said, "I'm ashamed to live here," and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't either. So, anyways, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that, and I do appreciate those of you that, come and watch the live streams. I know I've not been on a lot for quite a while, and I've done some flying through the lounge. I live in FL. Okay, Jay.
Oh man,
Jay lives in Florida.
So you do.
Yeah.
Man.
It almost I almost want to say that people probably are ashamed. Like, I don't, I should live somewhere where the law is fair. They always say that the prosecutors are always out to seek justice. And when they said justice had been served, they need to go back, because those words should not have came out of their mouth. Justice was not served.
Oh,
Satisfaction was
did
served.
the prosecutor actually say that? Because I never heard him say that.
I'm not saying like one prosecutor said that specifically, but that's the whole point of jury. That's the whole point of a trial. That's the whole point of court, is to make sure that justice is served. I'm saying
Right.
there was no justice in this case. There was no justice.
No, I think the Broward County system failed them. It's unfortunate.
Instead of justice, there was justif.
Yeah.
Not justice. But I don't know. It's disappointing. Well, Jay, I appreciate your views. If you're new to viewing the channel, tap on that subscribe button. I've got a lot of interesting topics that I'm going to be doing here at the lounge. And here's the thing. This is overall, I believe in people doing better. I'm a person about positivity. Hey, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. It really does. I believe in people doing better tomorrow, but not for these people. I want to make sure that doesn't go mistaken. That I don't believe that murderers deserve to say, well, you can do better tomorrow. I don't believe that in them. I believe that those that go through drug addiction, I believe that they can do better. I believe they can turn their life all the way around. I know they can. I believe that those that go through a hard life growing up, I believe they can turn their life around. I mean, I did. My life was not so easy growing up, but I turned it around. And so that's why I'm so about motivation and about motivation and trying to help others, because I believe in doing better and being able to hopefully give some people some positive thoughts is the whole idea here at the lounge, where hopefully that one, you'll see cases like this where I'll do live streams and talk about it, but you also see a lot of motivational stuff that I'm going to be doing, talking about drug addiction and recovery and anything to do with positivity. So, guys, I appreciate every one of you. I've been down a long road with this channel. I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to build it bigger. It's not easy. YouTube is it's not an easy thing to do, but in my design, as far as like the page, I can only do so much being visually impaired. So I know that affects the views too, and that affects all that, but we're getting there. Shauna, I don't know where you're at. You're one of my admins. I've not heard from you. I hope you're doing all right. And get in contact with me. Let me know you're okay. And for everybody else that's been a part of the lounge or that's stopping by, I appreciate all you guys. I hope that everybody has a wonderful day, wonderful night, wherever you might be. From time to time, you'll see me do some flight sim stuff through the channel. But mostly this is about, doing the motivational stuff. And then, of course, when these cases come through that I don't agree with, I'm going to go live about it. I'm going to share my opinion. Nichlous Cruise, you got lucky. You got a lucky strike. And I don't agree with it. Overall opinion, out of all of it, Nichlous Cruise deserved a death penalty. That's my verdict, and I'm sticking to it.